A listener wants to know what's been the biggest posthumous hit for any recording artist. Well, 3 artists had records that hit number 1 after they died. The man who sang Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay, the man who sang Time in a Bottle, and the woman who sang Me and Bobby McGee. Details coming up.
The hits from coast to coast. American Top 40.
We're on our way to the number 1 song in the USA. A listener named Tammy Barrow in Pinckney, Michigan wants to know what act has had the most top 40 hits after they died. Well, Tammy, there's a tie between 2 artists. Both had 4 top 40 hits after they died, and ironically, both died in tragic airplane crashes. First, there was a man who died in December of 1967, and then hit the top 40 posthumously with the happy song, Amen, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, and this number 1 song.
Now I'm just gonna sit at the dock of the bay.
The classic Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding. One of the 4 top 40 hits by Otis that charted after he died. The other artist to have 4 top 40s posthumously was a man who died in September 1973 and then hit the top 40 with I Got a Name, I'll Have to Say I Love You in a Song, Workin' at the Car Wash Blues, and this number 1 song.
If I could save time in a bottle.
The number 1, Time in a Bottle by Jim Croce. One of 4 top 40 songs by Jim Croce that hit after he died. And there's your answer, Tammy. The acts who had the most top 40 hits posthumously. 4 apiece, Jim Croce and Otis Redding. Thanks for your letter. Now, on with the countdown.
The hits from coast to coast to coast.
Now, let's answer that question about posthumous hits. Comes to us from Darren Supersad in Faizabad, Trinidad. Now, Darren wants to know what's been the biggest posthumous hit for any recording artist. That is, the biggest hit released after the artist died. So an example like John Lennon's number 1 song, Starting Over, which was released before John died, doesn't fit in this category. But 3 other artists did have number 1 records released after they died. First, there's the soul-singing star who was born in Dawson, Georgia. In December 1967, he died in a plane crash. A month later, in January 1968, a single of his was released, and it shot to number 1. Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding. Then there's a woman, a raspy, smoky-voiced blues rocker from Port Arthur, Texas. She died in October 1970. In January 1971, a posthumously released single of hers hit number 1.
Good enough for me and my Bobby McGee.
Me and Bobby McGee by Janis Joplin. Finally, there was a folksy balladeer from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In September 1973, he, like Otis Redding, died in a plane crash. In December 1973, his posthumous hit went to number 1.
The first thing that I'd like to do.
Time in a Bottle by Jim Croce. And there's your answer, Darren. The 3 biggest posthumous hits were all number 1 songs. Hits by Otis Redding, Janis Joplin, and Jim Croce. Thanks for writing in. I have a personal note here from me and the AT40 staff. It's to all of you who have ever sent in a long-distance dedication. Every letter that comes in, I mean every one, we read, and we read carefully. And I want to thank you for your willingness to share your personal stories. The songs you asked me to dedicate always seem to take on more meaning after your letters are read on the show. And that's really the whole point of our long-distance dedications. So keep them coming, and thank you. And the countdown continues.
The hits from coast to coast.